Hello and good evening. Welcome to our very first episode here on Unbroken Ego. Happy to host tonight's talk. Kind of just getting the nerves out, obviously. I never really thought that, I would be doing this. Never thought I would be having a conversation on a podcast to potentially, thousands of people. I mean, a conversation between friends, good friends, lovers. I do miss those kind. But another topic for another night. What we're here for, to talk about this pesky little word called the ego. The ego, our shadow self, our id, or alter ego, the social mask that we wear every day of our lives since we were little, and our parents started kind of marching us on the road of this is how you should be and this is how you should act. That's where it all began for many of us. And for me, if I look back, I guess I could say that it all started when I was maybe in high school. I started to realize that I was pretending to be somebody I wasn't. I was always a caring individual, loving, always ready to help or ready to make people feel good. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when I became aware of my ego, because we're really truly never aware of it. We think we are. We think that I'm not egotistic, or I don't hold myself higher than anybody else, or I don't need affirmation or praise or people looking at me, and I don't need that attention. But that's just the ego. That's us lying to ourselves. Every day I hop on social media and I'm posting every day, and I see other people post, and I see the kind of questions that they ask, and they're fishing. We're fishing for people's approval, fishing for people's admiration, fishing for people's love, want, and attention. And people are ready to give that to you. I never could have guessed how many people are really ready and willing to give you that love, that attention, that hate, that love also. Because there's always going to be people who are going to hate on you for being beautiful, for having that perfect body, or having that amazing wife or husband or job or career, or for having that drive, that want or courage to put yourself out there in front of thousands of people, sometimes even making a fool out of yourself. Like, people hate that. They can't be or do those things, although they think that they can't. But that is so not the case. I never thought that I could do this. And yet here I am. I never thought that I could put my feelings, my emotions, my growth out there for people to see. And yet I'm doing it every day. Not to try to get that attention from people for myself, but because I want people to realize that being yourself, being that kid, being that that person you were before you became aware of society's rules, being that little kid that loved without care, without need of affirmation, and or I guess I'm kind of having a loss here for words, but when you were a kid, you didn't need anybody to tell you this is how you love. It came natural, and it was pure, and it was good. But then society's rules were drilled into our heads, with this is who you are, this is who you should be, this is what you should do, how things are, how society is ran, and if you go against it, then you will be labeled an outcast. And so all of those things, all of those labels, they put weight on us. They put weight on who we are and who we always wanted to be. And because they put those weights and we allowed it to weigh us down, we became shy. We stopped wanting to be ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that this happened to everybody. A lot of people were able to see past society's rules and were able to continue to be, and love the way that they always have. But it also depends on how you grow up and who's there to show you and guide you. Now, I'm not saying that I had a horrible life, because I didn't. I had an amazing life. All the opportunities laid out bare right there in front of me. Boom, here you go. These are your cards. This is what you can do. I made a lot of choices in my life. Many bad. Many bad. Very few were good. But they were all my choices. And this is a concept that I'm just barely starting to understand. I'm just barely beginning to understand. My life took a very dark turn, I would say about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Super dark turn. Never thought that I could fall so hard and lose so much. But I did. And all because I didn't care. I don't know if anybody out there knows what that means, to really not care. I really didn't care about my life and or anybody in it. I thought I did. I thought I loved. I never knew the meaning of it. I'm still learning what love truly is. And I'm still growing as a man, as a father. But that's what's important, is that growth. It's the ability to make something out of nothing. Because that's what I was. I was nothing. And if anybody's ever been in that position where they have to look deep within themselves, truly look deep, and see that nothingness, that's them, and have to accept that, and turn around and say, I won't let you beat me. I won't stay down. I won't just let this darkness consume me. And have to claw your way out of this pit of self-pity. This pit of victimization, where you think, oh, poor me, it all happened because of this and because of that, and all the excuses that you could possibly come up with come to the tip of your tongue, and they just slip out like freaking verses in some Shakespearean freaking play, thinking that you're fooling anybody. But you're not fooling yourself. You know exactly who you are. You know exactly where you came from. And accepting that is hard. Seeing that is hard. Seeing yourself is one of the hardest things that you can do. So many songs and movies out there have that message in them, where we have to look deep within ourselves. Look at the man in the mirror. It starts there first. It starts with you. Look within. Go into that cave, that dark part of the forest, and confront that evil. The dark side lays there. Fight. Go beyond it. And yet when we come to those, dark catacombs or that dark edge of that forest, and we start walking in, we are way too scared, way too fearful of what we might see, because we know exactly what we're about to see. And we know that what's waiting for us is one of the most ugliest things in existence. So, I guess my question is, what is the darkest side of yourself that you ever had to confront? What was it? And how did you do it? How did you come out of that shadow? And or are you still battling with that moment of you stepping into your forest and into your darkness to try to confront that shadow and possibly see that light that is yourself? This is Hector with Unbroken Ego. My first episode is a short one, but we don't want to make it a long one today. Short and sweet. You let me know. I'll put you on. Anybody is welcome on Unbroken Ego.